Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This video is meant for 10th to 11th graders. Today we're going to learn about a math content, this math content right here, which is about right triangles and trigonometry. So first thing first, we need to learn about the image of the right triangle. So the 90 degree is very important because across from a 90 degree is your H. H is represented as your hypotenuse. So this is hypotenuse. Across from your obtuse angle, that's going to be your O, which your O is going to be opposite. And between the 90 degree and your obtuse is your A. A is going to be represented as adjacent. So another thing that's important about this is Pythagoras theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm gonna write down what's from the image into Pythagoras theorem, which is gonna be a squared plus o squared equals h squared. In other words, adjacent square plus opposite square equals hypotenuse square. Another thing to remember, and it's very important, is SOHCAHTOA. This is a very good standard to know and very important because when you write down finding sine of data, to get sine of data, it's basically opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine data is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. And lastly, tangent data is going to be opposite over adjacent. So in our next page, for number 2, we're doing an example, which are examples to find sine data, cosine data, and tangent data. So to find that, we need to know let's write down what we know from the right triangle. Like before, across from the 90 degree, across from your 90 degree is going to be your hypotenuse. Across your obtuse angle is going to be your opposite. Between the 90 to the obtuse is going to be your adjacent. And to do this problem, we need to know our Pythagoras theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equals c squared. In this case, we don't know about one of the leg, which is a squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. This is going to be some algebra work. So we do a squared plus 36 to 100. Subtract 36 from both sides. We're left with a squared is equal to 64. To get rid of the square root both sides. And lastly, we got a is equal to 8. So this is 8 right here. So from sine, cosine, and tangent, remember, SOHCAHTOA, sine data is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, which is 6 over 10. Cosine is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. And lastly, tangent data is going to be opposite over adjacent, which is 6 over 8. As you can see, you can simplify. So let's do that by 2 for each. So this is going to be 3/5. This is going to be 4/5. And this is going to be 3/4. And at the end, make sure to box your answer. Also, finding this, make sure to simplify all the way to get a good result. So in number 3, it's going to be a U try problem. So our example is going to be find sine data, cosine data, and tangent data. It's basically the same thing we did from the previous example. So make sure to remember that. Also, make sure to remember SOHCAHTOA, very important for finding the answer. And please go for it, attempt this problem. So what you need to do first is that, remember, from the 90 degree across, it's your hypotenuse. Across your obtuse angle is going to be your opposite. Between those two is your adjacent. In this part, we have to remember our formula of Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equals c squared. And just solve the problem, which is 15 squared plus a squared is equal to which c squared, which we don't know, which is your h. This is going to be 15 squared, which is going to be 225 plus 64 c squared. Add these two up. This could give you 289 equal to c squared. To get rid of the c squared, we square root both sides. C should be equal to 17. C in this case your h, so this is going to be 17. Remember, it's a cotella, so sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, which is going to be 15 over 17. Let me rewrite that better. It's going to be 15 over 17. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is a over 17. And lastly, tangent theta is going to be opposite over adjacent, 15 over a. Double check if you could simplify. If you can, just box your answer at the end. Lastly, for number 4, this is going to be an extension problem. This will be how will you solve this given right triangle. And there's going to be an extra credit. Also, the extra credit is to find cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta. Your hand right here is to understand SOHCAHTOA and also do the opposite from SOHCAHTOA to help you find this. And don't forget to label what you know and the given stuff. But yeah, that should be it.